practice, and after that go out and have a good day of class. And we just tried to break it day by day, put each day into like a quarter, so you had 4 quarters in the day. And that's really what we did. I mean, we didn't think beyond that. We really never lost confidence. Our kid, that wasn't ever the issue. It was just the fact that it's hard to explain, because it's like, I know we plan for it to be this way, but it's like your children. You're on them about something, then all of a sudden one day they just wake up and they get it. And that's kind of how it was. One day they got it. And they understood that we can do this if we do this right. And it just started spreading like wildfire.
The level of gittedness for is that surprising to you?
Not really, not with the kids that we have. And he'll laugh at me for saying this, but when you bring in great character kids that are smart, tough, and they love the game, when things don't go good, they won't point fingers at everybody else and say it's somebody else's fault or anything. They'll look in the mirror and say, what do I have to do to fix this? And that's what our kids did. Everybody, players, coaches, everybody looked in the mirror and said, what do we have to do to get this going? And they did it. And that's attributed to the type of young men that we have in our program. We got this. It was more of a relief for them to be able to see them and their facial, expressions and their body language on the sideline when they looked up and they realized what the score was, and that there wasn't enough time for them to be able to come back. Just you felt proud, like a parent. You felt like you were just so happy for them, and the way they were feeling and the emotion that they had. Couldn't think of anything better for them. And that's kind of like all you want in your life is your kids to have it good and have it better than what you had, and that's kind of how I felt.
What does this first bowl game do for the cachet program?
It means a lot to the university, not just the football program, but the athletic department and the university itself, because it allows, athletics is a window to the university. Okay, unfortunately, they're not putting the School of Business out on CBS Sports Network for 3 hours. They're not putting any of our academic programs out like that. So athletically, we are a window to the university. And so this gives an opportunity for people to realize where Georgia State's growing to and where they're at now, and to be taken seriously as a major university that not just has a great academic reputation, but athletics is growing to match it. You look at what basketball did, going to the NCAA tournament and all the publicity and exposure it got Georgia State, and now with football going to a bowl game, we're being one of only 4 mid-majors in the nation that have sent their basketball team to the NCAA tournament and a football team to the bowl game. It's showing that we're moving and to our standard to where our expectation for everybody is to have great athletics. And it brings everybody together. The alumni, the student body. I can't tell you how many students have walked up and said something. We've had students just take the time to walk all the way over here just to come in and congratulate us and walk out. And that's never happened before. So it gives that person that wants to wear the Georgia State hoodie, football hoodie in the airport on their way home for Christmas break, you got a lot more pride wearing it now, walking around than you do when you're 1-11 and 0-12. So it brings people together, and it brings our administration and our alumni and everybody together. So it's great for the university. For our program, it helps in recruiting, obviously. Now all of a sudden, those kids that weren't quite sure and they were looking at other schools at mid-majors are now very open to talking to us. It's given us great confidence going forward that our kids are no longer in that dark side anymore. That they know how to win. They know what they need to do. They know how to prepare to win, and gives them confidence going forward that now we can go out and try to compete for championships. It comes in phases. You got to teach them how to compete. Then you got to teach them how to win. Then you got to teach them how to compete for championships and how to win championships. And so now we're moving into learning now how to compete for championships. So we did it in phases, and that's then when you build it right, that's the way to do it. We're a young football team. We've got 9 starters back on defense next next year and 8 back on offense. I know we're going to replace a quarterback, but we've got some good prospects behind it. And got 2 good guys on campus. So.
Are you anticipating a pretty good following down there?
We're hoping. I mean, I think that people will come out of the woodworks for Georgia State's first bowl game. I think we'll travel well now. Are we going to travel like Alabama travels or something like that? I mean, we've been playing football for 6 years and made it to a bowl game. A lot of these schools have been playing football for over 100 years. So we're building our brand. We're building our fan base, and as we go. So I think we'll get a good turnout. Whatever turnout we get, we'll be extremely excited and proud of. So I know there'll be a lot of my family there on both sides of it. I have an request for over 52 tickets. So
not to compare you to the basketball team, but do you feel that same support on campus that the basketball team received back in the spring?
Oh yeah, we feel great support. And we feel supported by all the other athletic teams, in our department and the student body. And can't tell you how many emails I've gotten from, the head of the business department and the head of this and that department. So, there's support, and there's a lot of support.
With your plan being here now as long as you have been, is this kind of going in the plan and the direction you thought it would be as far as timetable?
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what we talked about when we first got here, It wasn't any different. We were gonna do the same mode we did before we came here. The staff that was with me beforehand, we didn't change anything. Even when we were 2-6 or 0-12 or 1-11 or 2-6 this year, we didn't change anything because we know what we were doing was right. And it all goes to having the right guys, the right type of young men in the program. So, it's going according to plan, and hopefully each year it goes step up, step up, step up. Now I'm not crazy. There's things we got to fix. There's things we can do better. Coaching, playing, and other things outside of but that's part of evolving a football program.
Have you had a chance to look at San Jose State and what kind of offense?
Oh yeah.
Talk about that and what their
have
strengths are.
They have a running back that's been invited to the Senior Bowl. That's an NFL prospect, a tight end that can get vertical with anybody and catch everything thrown. Quarterback that can beat you with his feet. Very polished offensive line that works well together. They're very athletic on defense, big corners. Linebacker number 4, I don't know names. Number 4 is a really good football player, and they're a well-coached team. Ron does a great job. So does his coordinators. I know both of them. So this is a small profession. We kind of know each other. So I've known Al Borges is the offensive coordinator for years. Greg Robinson, the D coordinator, I know, and Ron, the head coach, I've known since he was all the way back to UCLA as an assistant.
Charlie talked about what the sit down with y'all after the season and talk about the steps that need to be taken to make this a sustainable success for 2, 5, 10 years. What is the next thing this program needs? You've got the strength and conditioning center now. What's the next thing?
We've got to recruit our tails off, and it would be huge for this program to move into Turner Field. That would be a huge deal, but very happy with the double. So thank you, Falcons.
There's nothing in any kind of layer in between?
Well, yeah, there's a lot of things, but I'll talk to Charlie about this. There's a lot of things that we have to continue. You can't, if you're staying the same, you're getting worse. So there's things that have to, but that's between Charlie and I discussing that. I know that there's things that I have to do better. There's things that we have to do better, scheme-wise. Every year you evaluate everything. Scheme, weight room, how we eat, how we travel, all of that stuff. And that's stuff that me and my staff work on and talk about, and I'll sit down with Charlie and discuss it.
What were some of those things after last season that changed going into this season?
I think we made a bigger push for nutrition. Obviously, the weight room got built. We got a weight room built in our 3rd year. So I'm very excited about that. So those things had to change. The recruiting is going to be the recruiting. We're still going to recruit the same type of kid.
Right.
Now we're going to try to, branch out and see who's maybe fallen off of Alabama's list and Georgia's list. We're still trying to always recruit better than what we have, so that will always be the same. But there's things that you do when you're in charge of programs that you're always trying to better. Is it better socks? Is it better, food? Is it better everything, you know.
I know you love all the seniors. Like,
I love them
like
all.
they're your own children.
Seniors or freshmen or sophomores.
And they're all key seniors that you're losing. They're all starters at various positions. Which position is going to be tougher to try to fill going into
You
this?
know that answer.
I know what the answer is, but I need you to tell me what the answer is.
Quarterback. It all starts with your quarterback. We started winning games at Indiana State when we were there because we got a transfer quarterback named Ronnie Fouch. We started winning games here, and the freshmen developed and got older. You know, we started winning here when we got the transfer quarterback in, and everybody started developing. So obviously, it's always starts with the quarterback. That's high school, college, and pro. Everybody should understand.
Coach, do you think you'll have to keep your kids calm? They've been very focused the last month, but with the bowl game and the pageantry around it, do you think you'll have to keep them a little calm, particularly at the start of the football game?
Of course we will. You know, but that's part of our senior leadership. We've been talking to them, and they had a very focused practice today, you know. So we try to do all of our prep before we go down there, so we only have to have one day of practice down there. And we're going to let them have their fun, but at the same time, there's a time where everything's got to tighten up, and the mind's got to tighten and the body stays loose. So we want them to enjoy the experience, but at the same time, we're not happy just to go to a bowl game. We're happy to go try to win a bowl game. There's a big difference.